All right, let's dive right into this explainer and see how an escalating commitment to practical planning actually laid the foundation for a brilliant World War I-era romance. You know, when we picture historical wartime romances, our minds usually go straight to those sweeping, cinematic declarations of love, right? The tearful goodbyes at the train station, the grand, poetic gestures. But what we're looking at today is a fascinatingly different kind of love story. This is the story of Emily and Lyle, set in San Diego during the spring of 1918. Their romance absolutely wasn't built on grand illusions. Instead, it was constructed, literally brick by brick, on careful arithmetic, shared budgets, and just an incredibly grounded approach to the everyday realities of life. Now, Emily's snappy rejection of an opal's supposed bad luck instantly hooks us into her wonderfully pragmatic character. When Lyle brings up the old superstition that opals traditionally carry bad luck, Emily just completely shuts it down with this fantastic line. She literally has no time for superstition. She cares about quality and reality. And honestly, this perfectly sets the tone for everything we are about to explore. We're talking about two working-class people here. Lyle is a Marine private and an auditor by trade, and Emily comes from the practical, no-nonsense world of retail. They are about to make the biggest decisions of their lives using pure, unfiltered logic. And as we'll see, that logic is exactly what makes their love so profound.
So let's move into our first phase. Section 1, winning over the mother. Picture this. Della Carringer is turning 56, and Emily needs a birthday gift for her future mother-in-law. Now, she originally got advice to buy these really elaborate gloves meant for attending the opera, but Emily actually knows Della. She knows Della is a woman who cooks pot roast because her husband always requests it, a woman who simply doesn't ask for much. So Emily pivots. Instead, she chooses soft, everyday French kid gloves in gray, finished with just a simple pearl button. They're suited for church, for visiting, and for the ordinary dignities of a life well lived. This is the ultimate love language of practicality. It's not at all about what's flashiest. It's about what is actually useful and true to the person receiving it.
And Della's reaction is just, it's beautiful. This quiet stillness perfectly captures her response upon receiving this gift. When she opens the box after a hearty family dinner, there is this very specific silence in the room. It's the stillness of someone receiving a gift chosen with genuine attention rather than mere obligation. When she says, "They match nothing I own and everything I own," she is acknowledging that Emily truly sees her. Emily didn't just buy a luxurious item off a shelf. She bought an item that honors Della's exact place in the world. It's a quiet, perfect triumph of observation. Which brings us to their financial partnership. Section 2. The Ring Arithmetic. Notice how methodically they scouted downtown San Diego for this. Lyle literally kicks off the conversation by saying, "I've done the arithmetic." They both know they have enough cash for a modest ring and rent, but definitely not enough for both a diamond and a gold band. So they hit the pavement. They start over at Marston's, move down 5th Avenue to J. Jessup & Sons under its famous ticking street clock, which, fun fact, was built with 17 gemstones. Then they check out Schiller's and finally Ernsting's. They are approaching this whole process with the absolute seriousness of two people who have worked incredibly hard for their money and refuse to spend it carelessly. It's essentially a masterclass in joint financial planning. And Emily's retail strategy here is just so relatable. While at Jessup's, she spots this modest sapphire ring set in gold that she instantly loves. But she doesn't say a single word to the clerk, not one. It's only later, outside on the street, that she tells Lyle about it. When he asks why on earth she kept quiet, she reveals she was applying the exact cynicism she learned working at the glove counter. She knows for a fact that if you show a salesperson exactly what you want, the price magically inflates. So she is actively protecting their tight budget. It's funny, it's clever, and it shows just how perfectly matched she and Lyle are in their financial discipline. And this is where Della steps in and introduces a brilliant solution. Over dinner, she suggests they use the Sears catalog. Now you have to understand, in 1918, the Sears catalog was the ultimate life hack. You could buy plain, honest gold wedding bands by weight and carat, completely bypassing those massive markups of a downtown jewelry shop window. So by ordering Lyle's plain gold bands straight from Sears, they saved enough cash to make Emily's Jessup Sapphire a reality without ever touching their rent reserve. It's phenomenal teamwork spanning 2 generations. Okay, let's see how they escalate their commitment next, in Section 3, Securing the Harrison House. Looking at their unyielding list of house hunting requirements, I want you to pay special attention to number 2. 1 level, no stairs. They absolutely need 3 bedrooms, they need it furnished, and they need it near the trolley line so Lyle can commute to his Marine base at Balboa Park. But that second requirement, that is a deeply loving, non-negotiable accommodation to protect Georgia
Emily's mother. Her late husband had tragically fallen on the stairs before his death, so they are quite literally architecting their entire new life around the safety and comfort of their family. They spend their Thursdays walking the streets, scouring the newspaper ads, and finally, they secure this absolute gem of a cottage on Harrison Avenue from a widow named Mrs. Halloran. It has great kitchen bones and a garden that just needs a little bit of attention. But here's where the practicality shines through yet again. The house is listed as furnished, but as Emily quickly notes, furnished doesn't necessarily mean equipped. Georgia, ever the pragmatist, points out that her current kitchen already has more pots than 3 people could possibly need. They don't need to waste money buying new things. They just need a solid schedule to migrate Georgia's existing pots and linens by June 30th to make it a fully functioning home. Finally, we reach the absolute climax of this explainer, Section 4, the logistics of love. Emily brings out the red ink for the calendar, and this visually cements just how seriously they took their commitment to order. The marriage license isn't just something they'll pick up whenever they have free time, it is scheduled in red ink. This absolute precision ensures that Lyle's commanding officer, Corporal Briggs, gets their housing paperwork exactly on time. In fact, their paperwork is so remarkably spotless that Briggs, a man of notoriously few words, actually strikes up a conversation with Lyle about the neighborhood. That is a completely historic event in Lyle's military career, all thanks to some good old-fashioned organization. Let's look at how this timeline actually builds out. You can totally see Lyle's auditor brain at work in this master plan. They get the license on the 13th. They take occupancy of the house on the 15th, which cleverly allows Georgia to start moving kitchen goods early. The wedding itself is on the 19th at Central Christian. Because they staggered the dates exactly this way, Emily and Lyle actually get to enjoy 2 honeymoon nights completely alone at the U.S. Grant Hotel before Georgia officially moves in on the 30th. Everything in its proper order, not a single detail forgotten. It is an absolute masterpiece of logistical planning. Which brings us to this final quote from Lyle's letter to Emily. Penned in Waterman ink on good paper, we see the ultimate, poetic expression of a romance that was built on careful, quiet arithmetic. He's writing to her to confirm that the Sears ring is arriving, the house is arranged, the dates are totally set, and he is finally counting down the days instead of up. When he signs off with, "yours in every particular," it's not just a polite sign-off, it's a literal promise. He is hers in every tiny, calculated, perfectly arranged detail of their shared life together. So, to wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. In a modern world where we are constantly told that love should be spontaneous, expensive, and flashy, how do we measure romance today? Can massive, cinematic grand gestures ever truly compete with the meticulous, everyday devotion of an Emily and a Lyle? Because when you really look at the Sears catalog rings, the red ink on the calendar, and that one-story house chosen out of pure compassion, you realize that true romance isn't always about losing your mind in passion. Sometimes true romance is simply making sure the math works out perfectly together.